Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and get this day going. Let's get this show on the road. So, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
All right. Thank you for that.
Good morning.
All right. Always a little quality control test, testing the mics, testing the speakers. So we're going to be finishing off. We got 2 more days left. We're going to finish off the rest of the database. We're going to continue on those points. As the audience is continuing to build up, I just want to make sure that I do encourage those of you that are over on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook to come join us over on Zoom, as I am going to be sharing scripts, and those visuals unfortunately won't be sharing on those platforms. Any questions, any comments, any concerns anybody has that I can address from any perspective? We're good? All right. So we've been talking about this for basically the entire month. How many of you are starting to dig into your database and getting any sort of victories of any sorts, whether it's a mental victory? I spoke to somebody that I haven't spoken with in like 5 years. I finally pushed myself more than I ever have in the past. Anything from anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be a seller or a buyer. Anybody from that direction? Okay.
Yes.
Awesome, Shelly. Share with us a little bit of that victory, if you may. What are some things that you've decided you've pushed forward? You're doing more of, whatever that is. What's that victory for you?
I mean, I'm just calling through the database and reconnecting, following the guidelines that, the verbal world track guidelines that you've given.
Yeah.
Following the sequence, which I think is what I've done differently in the past. So what I'm finding is that after I call, and then the next day I call, and then the next day I call, if I don't pick up, leave a message.
Okay.
Usually I'm getting like, oh, I'm sorry, I've just been busy. Finally, give me a call back tomorrow type of thing. Where in the past, I would just like call and leave a message. I wasn't repetitive.
Okay.
So that's been beneficial because people do like talking to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, people love talking to us. So let me add to that, and that's part of the reason why I want to make sure that we do get a participation. So thank you for that, Shelly. Just to kind of further a little bit from what Shelly is talking about, what we don't understand is when we call people right now, and I know that we've been instructed to do a certain way in the past, so on and so forth. And what I mean by that is you give them a call, you leave them a voicemail, and you say, hey, this is Robert. Here's the information. If you know of anybody, or who do you know, anything from that direction. What ends up happening is we call them one time, we leave them voicemail one time. What they do is they end up picking up their phone and they go, Robert, okay, interest rates are down. Yeah, don't really know anybody. Well, yeah, there's Bob, but yeah, I don't want to bug Robert about Bob. Bob's always on the fence, right? And that's what ends up happening. But when we go through and we call them in a little bit more of a sequential manner, we call them day 1, day 2, day 3. We leave them a voicemail on the first day. Hey, it's Robert. Just wanted to ask you a couple of quick questions. They're gonna be a little intrigued. Robert has a couple of questions. What are the questions about? Wonder what he's calling for. Sometimes they're gonna give us a call back. Robert, hey, it's Joe. What's up? What's going on? You had some questions for me? Then I go through, give them the value, and now I can say, who do you know of? And in that particular situation, Joe's going to sit there and say, well, I mean, I really don't want to bug you, but there's Bob at work. But Bob's been talking about that for a long time. Cool. Well, tell me a little bit about Bob. How long has he been looking for? What's stopping him? What's keeping him from moving forward? Has he spoken with a realtor? Has he spoken with a lender? Where is he looking at? All of these questions. Well, I don't know. Let me see if I can get Bob, if Bob's okay with talking to you. And next thing you know, with what was in the original example, leaving on the one voicemail, him thinking about maybe Bob, nothing comes of it. But in the second example, now I'm being a little more intriguing. And because of this, what ends up happening is that now I get well, let me give Bob a call. Let me see if I can be of some help. Sometimes it's just a question or two that might unlock some of that fear. Now I call Bob, and Bob tells me, yeah, I have been thinking about it. Just I keep waiting for the market to crash. I'm waiting for the market to drop. I'm waiting for the interest rates to get back down to 2%. Bob, how long have you been waiting for? 4 years? And you've been renting for how much? $3,000 a month? Goodness gracious, Bob. Well, you've been waiting. You've thrown in the trash $140,000. Okay. We're not going to get a $140,000 drop in the markets. Okay. By the way, how much equity have you built in that time frame? Oh, you have it. but guess who has, right? So not only did you throw $140,000 in the trash, you gained zero equity. Okay, so that's the purpose of that. So I appreciate you sharing that, Shelly. Well, what's another win? What else? Anybody else?
Yeah, I called an old client of mine. He said he was, probably selling a couple other of his investment properties. And he was a client I didn't sell his property to, but I still, so we hadn't talked in a couple months.
Yeah.
But I called him and, you would think, you play all these scenarios in your head and you think, okay, he's probably mad at me because I didn't sell his house, but he wasn't mad at all. He's happy to hear from me. So, and then he said, yeah, I'm not thinking about selling my other investment properties. And went from there. So.
And that's it. That's it. So there's a gentleman. I don't know if you guys know Robert Cedeno that I coach from time to time. Him and his team. And Robert Cedeno, I've interviewed him. He does. They're going to do over 200 deals this year off of mostly Instagram. And what we're starting to work on is other sources, open houses, the database, so on and so forth. And went through it. And one thing that he was vulnerable and he shared that his best friend. Literally, and this guy's all over social media. I mean, this guy has almost 100,000 followers, constantly blasting about what he does. And his best friend, after calling, okay, now I'm getting him to call. After calling, guess what? His best friend ended up deciding to buy with somebody else. Okay.
I'm not surprised.
Okay. But what ends up happening is we have to narrow that gap, and it is important that we understand that, okay? Because a lot of times, here's what ends up happening, and I didn't ask him why, because he volunteers this information. I don't want to put him on blast, because he was in front of his group, his team, so on and so forth. But I can almost guarantee you the response, why didn't you call me, is going to be because I thought you were too busy. I can guarantee you that's very likely going to be the response. So our audience, sometimes, even like myself right here, as I'm here, I get clients all the time that tell me, oh, well, you're just too busy. You're just too busy. I don't want to bug you. Okay. Whether it's that or something else, we need to create that connection. So it is vital and it is important. So Declan, thank you for sharing that. And I did have another client actually of recent, same exact thing, hasn't spoken to somebody in 5 years. And after 5 years, finally connect and say, hey, well, I'm so glad you called because I'm thinking about selling 3 properties. Okay, 1 in LA and 2 in Palm Springs. Okay, and of that, it ended up working out. Okay, so now here we are in a position, and those properties are not cheap. Okay, that's probably about $4 million worth of inventory. Even at 2%, that's almost $100,000 of commissions just because of one phone call. And that's how powerful this is. This is the reason, a large percentage of why the majority of my coaching clients do become millionaires. They do get into that 7 figures. And I don't care if you're only having 100 or 200 people in your database, okay? Because this is just the one source, but it's the most important source. This is the foundation with what we do. And then when we start to unlock that second, that third, that fourth, and then that fifth source, that's where it really starts to rake in. Because even a person that has, for example, 200 people in their database, by the time we go through the exercise, that 200 ends up being 300, 350 because we start to find other people. 10% of that's about 30 to 35 deals. And then we go and capture that second source. I don't care what it is. If you buy business from Zillow, if you do open houses, if you farm, I don't care. Let's go find another 10, 12, 15 deals from that source. And then we get to that third source. We find another 5, 10, or 15 deals from that source. We unlock another source, another 5, 10, 15 deals from that source. Next thing you know, this person's doing 60, 70 deals where the year previous they had done 13. And that's very common. But guess where it starts? This source. Okay, so we have to understand that. All right, let's move in a different direction. We do have a handful of people that have joined us, of course, from YouTube, Instagram, and for those of you that are following on Facebook. Any questions, anything else that I can address? I want to give a couple of points, and I also want to get some role play in. Okay, so any questions?
I just wanted to mention one thing I learned from your process is that, it's very egotistical for me to think that I'm going to call somebody and then they're just going to just pick up the phone. And then my drunk monkey starts telling me, oh, they don't want to talk to me and all the other things. So through your process, I realized that, that my drunk monkey just loves it when I call once and then don't get a call back. So they, can tell me all the negative things and then I don't call anymore versus your process eliminated that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the acknowledgement. It is very important because that's it's funny because I think the one thing that I can relate to that, Shelly, is that there were windows of times because I avid door knocker for so long. And I really think that door knocking is going to make its way back because of all of the restrictions, the DNC, the caller IDs, all this other stuff, which is a completely different topic. But I'd go to the door and I'd be like, please don't answer. Please don't answer. Right. Please don't answer. I just want to distribute my 50 flyers and just have the integrity and say I'm done. But I don't want to talk to anybody today. Please don't answer. Okay. And that shows up sometimes. Or we sit here and fool ourselves because we go through and we dial, not call. We dial everybody. And as we dial everybody, we sit there and think, well, my cousin knows, my best friend knows, my aunt knows I'm a realtor. We're going to get business. And then the worst part about it is for those of you that do get good business, and I do say the worst part about it, is you start to get enabled. Okay, and what I mean by that is that I've seen people that I've coached in the past where they have a half decent amount of database of 300 or 400 people and they'll get 10, 12, 15 deals. And then they're the top 10 agent of the office. And they go, well, my database feeds me. I don't need to call them. Sure, you should be getting 30 or 40 deals and being the number 1 agent, not the number 9 agent, because you just sit there and wait for the phone to ring. Okay, so those are things that I want to make sure that we also understand. All right, so I'm going to move on, get a couple of different points. The first thing is that in order for us to create this connection and the consistency, it's vital, absolutely vital. We ask for their permission. We got to ask for their permission. If we don't ask for their permission, these calls are absolutely awkward. Okay. Joe, hey, it's Robert. What's going on? How are you doing? Good, man. I'm doing well, doing well. Hey, we're just giving you a call. I just, scrolling through my phone and I'm sitting here, goodness gracious, Joe, we haven't spoken in 4, maybe 5 years? Yeah, it's been a minute. I mean, I see on social media, I see you guys recently took that trip, which was awesome. That's great. How was Hawaii, by the way? That's cool. That's great, man. That's awesome. So the last thing I want to do is just send you some random text. Figure I'd pick up the phone, give you a call, and just check in. How are the kids? How's the wife? How's the whatever? How's business? Good. That's awesome. That's good to hear. Hey, you know what? I owe you an apology. We haven't spoken in 4 or 5 years. The last thing I want to do is just send you just all of these texts and all of this information about real estate. Is it okay if I check in with you maybe 3, 4 times a year, just kind of give you some updates and just kind of do my job the way that I'm supposed to? Hey, I appreciate that. Okay. And what that basically does is being genuine, getting their permission is going to unlock the next 35, 40 calls. Now you got to do your job, and your job is to call them on a quarterly basis. Okay. Now, because of that, that gives you the opportunity to now on the second call, not be awkward, not be weird. In that second call, now you get the opportunity, Joe, hey, it's Robert, your realtor. I promised you I'd check in with you more often. Now you are being a person of integrity. Now you're doing your job. Now you're fulfilling your commitment. And now you are that person, okay, that, hey, well, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Is integrity up or is it down in today's basically society? It's way down. Goodness gracious. When we get good service, it's like, whoa, that was cool. We expect that service. That's the craziest part about it. Okay. When we actually get good service, I'm a big tipper. I'm a good tipper. Okay. I'll be sometimes sitting there, Lisette and I will go and grab drinks and stuff like that. And we'll grab 2 drinks and it's like $35 for the tab. And then the gal was super attentive. The guy was super sweet. And I go through and be like, here you go, $20. Nice tip. Okay. Because I acknowledge that. That's our job. We have to be those people that give that great service because that's what creates those rainmakers. That's what creates that repetitive business. That's what creates the, oh, look at that. Chad sent me another lead. Chad, hey, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Okay. Oh, what? 1.2 million? And help them find a replacement home. There we go. $2 million in volume. Okay. That's awesome. Next thing you know, there's $30,000, $40,000 in commission off of one random text that came in. If you're not getting this with what I'm describing, you're doing your job wrong. It's that simple. That simple. Okay. So we know that that is the epitome of where we should be at. When we're getting people that are randomly just, here you go, Aqua, here's a buyer, okay? Here we go, Raquel, here's a seller, okay? Super cool. And then I even love it even more so when I get other referrals from agents, because now I know that I am their go-to, which I am going to reciprocate. Okay, so that's how we make sure we keep that connection in place. And if you do have questions, feel free to just go ahead and jump right on in. I'm going to go ahead and share script here. I'm going to give one more point, but I'm going to share the script here again for those of you that are over on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. You're going to have to come join us over on Zoom. The Zoom information is there. All right. So to build my database, I have to ask people that I do business with. Okay. So we want to be in a position where we can go ahead and ask permission. And those are the people that we do business with on the frequent. Okay? So let me go through. I'm going to get a little participation. Let me take a look here real quick. Perfect. Okay, so we have a question, Irma. Thank you so much. So Irma's asking on YouTube, how would you introduce yourself as a new realtor to your circle? Okay, so Irma, I'm going to ask of you, send me a DM. I'm going to send you the script because that's what we covered earlier in the month. I don't want to be dismissive to your question, but go ahead and send me a DM. You can go ahead and go on Instagram. Make sure you friend me there. Send me a DM and just let me know you want the scripts, and I'll get you the scripts. And that script is called the reconnection script or the introductory script. Okay, depending on whether it's a new, if you're brand new, okay, or new to the company. Going back to what we need to do is we have to ask for permission. Okay, that's basically my point. Aqua, if I could get you to volunteer real quick. Where do you frequent? I mean, you tell me, like, if I see this girl, if I see this guy out in the street, that's my barber. I mean, I'm sorry, not my barber, but my hairstylist, my nail technician. That's my mechanic. Who would that be?
Probably my Michelle, my stylist.
Okay, cool. So is Michelle in your database?
No.
There we go. If we're giving these people money, we got to ask them for permission. Michelle, hey, I've been doing real estate now for the X number of years. I'd love to add you to my database. Do you have a go-to realtor right now? You don't. Okay. I'd love the opportunity to be that go-to realtor. Or Michelle, hey, I've been doing real estate for X number of years. Do you have a go-to realtor? Oh, you do. That's awesome. That's great. I'm not surprised. Agents are a dime a dozen, aren't they? Is this realtor giving you updates on their frequent? Oh, they sent you baking postcards. That's cute. Okay. Are they giving you updates in regards to what's going on with the real estate market, though? They're not. I really honestly don't mind. It's usually just about 5 minutes, and I'll do that 3 or 4 times a year just to let you know what's going on. Law changes, interest rates, any new loan programs. You're not in the market? Not a problem. I totally get it. The point is just to educate my friends and my family, just to kind of give them for when they are ready. So whether that's a year from now or a decade from now, I want to be that person for you. Do I have your permission? There we go.
So yes, and I should have done that a long time ago because I've been going to this girl for over 10 years. And I have an esthetician, and I'm always mentioning real estate, going to her for over a decade as well. However, and I know, she's genuine, but what if you don't get business? What if they, they're not sending anybody to you?
It's okay. No problem. Here's anybody ever hear there's this old saying that goes, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Right? So that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to be that person that is continuously being in their ear. And here's what I've talked about is chair business. I'm going to go into that for a quick second. So I don't even know why I don't have that in my notes. Let me add that here because that should be absolute. That's a huge one.
That's chair business, right?
Yep, exactly. Let me talk about that because not everybody understands what share business is. Okay, so here's what I want you guys to think of. We go out into the community, we pull out our wallets, we pull out our purse, we get our credit cards, we do our Apple Pays, our mobile pays, and we go and tap that card somewhere. And sometimes that's going to be frequent. And sometimes that's going to be in a place where we sit in a chair. Where do we get service when we're sitting in a chair, as an example? Nail salon, hair salon, barber, dentist. Think of that. Anywhere you go and sit in a chair. This is huge. Okay, I'm going to use myself as an example as a barber. Okay, my son is my barber now, so I expect of my son and my barber to give me business. But let's say my son wasn't my barber. Okay, on average, actually, Declan, let me get you to participate here real quick. So let me use you as an example. So as a you go to a barber now, do you?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So how long have you been going to this barber?
It's relatively new. Probably I just found them. Probably about 6 months.
Okay, so your previous barber, how long did you do business with them previously?
I've been moving around a lot, so
Okay.
probably again 6 months.
Okay, well that's fine. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant to the point. So let's just go into that direction. So you go to a barber. On average, how much time does it take for you to get serviced? How long does it take for you to get a haircut?
Usually, usually 15 minutes, I'd say.
Okay,
Yeah.
so which is really super duper short. Most of the time, guys
Yeah.
are right around that 30 to 45 minutes.
Right.
Let's just go crazy and say it takes an hour. Okay, because
Yeah.
I know sometimes so that we can go through with the women, get your nails done. Sometimes they can take an hour, sometimes they can take 2 hours, as an example. So that person is in most cases working a full-time gig. What am I getting at? 1 hour over the course of a shift, 8 hours, they're servicing, let's just round it up to 10 people. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, over the course of a week, that's about 40 to 50 people. Let's just keep it at 40 people. Do we got that? Now, Declan, how often do you get a haircut?
Probably once a month, I'd say.
Once a month. Okay, that's pretty fair. That's fairly common. Most men are going to be in that 2 to 4 week range. Let's say that it's 3 weeks worth. We already identified in 1 week, that is 40 people. 3 weeks, that's 120 people. That's 120 people that are sitting in that chair. Of the 120 people that are sitting in that chair with that barber, how many of those people, okay, and this is just for everybody, Declan, so thank you for going through that. Okay, out of the 120 people, how many of those people are in the real estate business, would we all say? Maybe 10? And that's a lot, okay? And of those 10, how many of those are lenders? 2 or 3. How many of those are title reps? Maybe 1 or 2. Okay, how many of those are in the insurance side of things? Maybe 1 or 2. How many of those are realtor? Probably 14. Probably 3 or 4, okay, that are sitting in that chair. Why are they going to give, in this case, Aqua and or Declan, business? We have to ask for it. Okay.
And you're a good tipper.
Yeah, and I'm a big tipper, exactly. So, Joe, hey, buddy, man, we've been working together now for 6 months. Hey, appreciate it. Thank you so much. I've never found a barber as great as you, okay? So I appreciate your professionalism. It's awesome. Hey, I don't know if you know this, but I do real estate. Did you know that? Yeah, I've been doing real estate now for the last 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 25 years. Yeah, I definitely would love the opportunity to be your go-to realtor. Do you have a go-to realtor right now? Oh, the dude that just left, he's a realtor too? Yeah, I get it. I understand. Yeah, I'm sure you probably have a dozen realtors that come and sit here, huh? Okay, yeah, I get it. I understand. Do any of them give you updates? Seriously, how many of these realtors are actually doing their job? None of them, right? Okay, so now I go through, say I'd love the opportunity to be your go-to realtor, so on and so forth. Here's the thing what I'm getting at. We now become the 1 out of the 4 or the 5 or the 10 realtors in that chair. But what I'm doing is I'm creating an expectation where all the other knucklehead realtors don't even care. They don't even say anything. Here's my card if you know of anybody, whatever. Okay. But in that 110 other people that are not in the real estate business, what do you think that barber, that nail technician, that esthetician, that whoever is, what are they talking about? They're talking about everything. They're talking about life. Oh my gosh, my boyfriend cheated on me. Okay. Oh my gosh, my wife, goodness gracious. I don't know. I think I got to go through a divorce. Oh my gosh, we just found out we're pregnant. Life is my point, is in those conversations. And in that, do you think they talk about real estate sometimes? Probably about a third of the time. Okay. And what they end up doing, which always ends up happening for me, of the people that I've serviced, including my dentist, they'll go, as a matter of fact, Robert, the person that just left, yeah, that person we were just talking about, that they're going to be going through a divorce. They just found out that they're pregnant. they need to upgrade. Person actually just came across an inheritance and wants to do some investing. All kinds of everythings. You guys get that? We have to do our job. That's a plain and simple. Okay. We do not want to be. Anybody here work for the FBI? Because some of you guys act like secret agents. Okay. So that was cute, huh? All right. Let me go ahead and share the script. I promise we're going to get into a little bit of role play. Any questions? Go ahead and get that script going. All right. Here we go. So let me get a volunteer. I'll be the agent. Okay. So who wants to be my volunteer? I'll be the agent. Okay, don't fight over each other. Come on.
I can do
I can do it.
All right, Shelly, thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, so here we go, Shelly. So you are basically just somebody that you are in just rotation. Okay, I've already spoken to you 3 or 4 times. I'm just going through doing my rounds. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Shelly, hey, it's Robert, your realtor. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good, Robert.
Good. I wanted to borrow you for a few minutes to give you a real estate update. Do you have a few minutes I can borrow?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm going to be very short, very brief. I know that you're a very busy woman, so let me get right to the point. I was calling because have you heard about this loan program, the ABC DEFIG program?
No.
Yeah, it's a great, great program. What makes this program super phenomenal is right now they're accepting people that will be as low as a 580 FICO score, and they get the opportunity to go to 100% financing. Okay, so this gives people that are looking at possibly buying with a little bit of money down and that are having a little bit of a challenge with FICO scores. My question is, who do you know that is needing this information, that is thinking of buying, thinking of selling, or for that matter, even thinking about investing that I could be of help to?
Who do I know? I can't think of anybody, but I will keep that in mind.
Yeah, awesome. I really appreciate that. Can you think of maybe anybody from work?
No.
No.
But I mean, I think there's someone at church, but I don't think she's gonna be buying for a long time.
Got it. Okay, that's perfectly fine. What's holding that person back from purchasing?
I guess I don't know the interest rates.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been hearing that a lot of recent. Do you know where she's looking at buying?
I don't. I mean, I'm assuming here in Tracy.
Okay, so looking for in Tracy. Does she have a budget in mind, a certain price point she wants to be within?
I have no idea.
You
I
don't
mean,
know.
I just think she's sick of renting.
Got it. I completely understand. Now, has she spoken with a realtor or for that matter, even a lender?
Not that I know of. I mean, I think it's just something that's on her vision board.
Got it. Okay. Well, let me do this. Let me give her a call. And what I can do, I get it. I understand she may not necessarily be ready. I'd love the opportunity to see if there are any questions I can answer. What is the best number I can reach her at?
I don't even know if I have her number. I think I just see her at church every once in a while. I mean,
Okay.
we've gone to a couple like ladies luncheon type of things.
Okay.
So we were there
Mhm.
at one this month, and that's what she was talking about.
Yeah, no worries. What's her name, by the way?
I think I'm running.
What is her name again?
Oh, she was just talking about how she was sick of renting,
Ah.
and she really wanted to buy.
Okay.
We were having lunch at the ladies' luncheon.
Got it. And then what's her name though?
Aqua.
Aqua. There we go. Okay, cool. So when do you think you'll get a chance to talk to Aqua?
Probably one this month sometime.
Mhm.
Usually go to second service.
Sure, absolutely. So can I ask you a favor?
Yeah.
When you do speak with Aqua, can I get you to put us in a group text and just simply introduce me that way?
Yeah.
Awesome. I really would appreciate that. Shelly, who else do you know besides Aqua that is in the market looking to buy, looking to sell, or for that matter, even looking to invest?
I can't really think of anybody. I
Okay.
don't know.
I'll go through, ask another source or two. I'll even get a little bit personable. Shelly, hey, how about anybody from your daughter's softball team? How about anybody from your son's soccer team? Hey, are you still doing that yoga class that you're leading? Can you think of anybody from there? It doesn't matter. The point is that I want to get a little bit more specific. Depending on the person who I'm speaking with, I might only ask 2 or 3 sources, but if it's somebody who is engaging, that is somebody that could help me, I'm going to go through 4 or 5 or 6 even different sources. Friends, family, neighbors, somebody from church. Obviously, we don't ask church unless they go to church, right? You know, getting personable. You still playing softball? Hey, are you still in that bowling league? Hey, I know you've been playing poker for a long time. You still got your poker buddies? Like, it doesn't matter. The point is that we want to be able to ask from that direction. And then the how about yourself, and I'm going to wrap this up here in 60 seconds. How about yourself? I will only do that probably once a year. Okay, I'll only do that about once a year. How about yourself, Shelly? When are you planning on making that move? And you don't need to answer. Okay.
I can't go anywhere till my daughter gets out of high school, which
So-
is in 2 years.
So in that, I will only ask that question once a year. You guys all get me? Okay. So let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. We are going to be back on tomorrow. I do apologize. I know that yesterday we did have a live scheduled with Anthony Andre. We were talking about, or we were wanting to talk about relationship building. He's the title rep, one of the largest title reps in all of Southern California. We moved him over to Friday. He was good for him. He got engaged like 3 days ago. If you guys don't know Anthony, Anthony's an awesome dude. He just got engaged. Well, he was thanked by having 3 flight delays. So that's the reason we couldn't do the interview yesterday. But we'll have him on Friday, and we're going to talk about a lot of, building that relationships. Okay, building those relationships. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much. Let's have a powerful, productive day. Let's go take a listing or 5. I will see you guys tomorrow, 7:30. Thank you for continuing to be here. Thank you for helping me continue to grow the audience. I will see you guys on the next one. Let's have a good one.
Bye. Bye,
You're welcome.
everybody.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. I'll see you guys soon. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Please tune in. The Instagram Live, as I mentioned, is going to be on Friday at 12 o'clock Pacific Standard again, one more time. So I'll see you guys then, okay? Thank you.